just close my eyes again. Climbed aboard the Dreamweaver train. Try to take away my worries of today and leave tomorrow behind. A dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Fly me high through the starry skies, maybe to an astral plane. Cross the highways of fantasy. Help me to forget today's pain. Ooh, dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night. Ooh, dreamweaver, I believe we can reach the morning light. Though the dawn may be coming soon, there still may be some time. Fly me away to the bright side of the moon. Meet me on the other side. Ooh, dreamweaver, I believe you can get me through the night.
All right, hello everybody. I had to open up with a little Gary Wright. I love that album. Good album, good song. I actually found my original CD that has that song on it. Of course, Dreamweaver, "Love Is Alive," big song from this album. But I was like OCD with all my CDs. I didn't like anybody touching them or fingerprinting them. I mean, look at this. This thing has it doesn't really show like this camera's all jacked up, but look at that. There is not, and this thing's like 30, what, 35 years old. It's not a scratch or fingerprint on that entire CD. It's like perfect. I like Three Dog Night too. Definitely like Three Dog Night. Maybe we'll do Three Dog Night next. Hi, I'm not Paul. You're reminding me I need to check in with my friend. I am not Paul Avery's daughter, Kristen. He's one of the coolest people I've met through doing all this stuff is Paul Avery's daughter. I mean, she is the definition of a hoot is Paul's daughter, Kristen. She lives in Louisiana, by the way. She enjoys it there. Of course, her mother's from Mississippi, so she lives not real far from where her mom's from. Yeah, I was looking through some of these old CDs. I was looking for that, trying to figure out what to play, just what I used to like. Is Psychedelic Furs, old REM. I love old REM. That's good stuff. Fables of the Reconstruction, great album. Who likes the Church? I love the Church. Can't go wrong with Rush. I got all my old CDs. Probably worthless, but it's cool. 10,000 Maniacs, great album. I saw them in concert twice. I don't know. I got to go through all that sometime, but lots of good music. But yeah, I love Gary Wright. Gary Wright's fantastic. So the time changes tonight, which is Cruel and Unusual Punishment. What is it? Spring forward, fall back, or is that the other one? Mine's like spring forward, fall dead, because I'm so freaking tired, and they got to take another hour of my precious sleep. I mean, who the hell came up with daylight savings? They should be I don't know. There's a guy that whoever invented that should be dug up and exiled. That's just cruel. Whoever invented daylight savings times is probably the same dude that invented roundabouts. One of my other pet peeves of hate is a roundabout or daylight savings or it's ridiculous. I mean, just leave it at one freaking time. Why do they have to keep taking it away? It's like it's every 3 weeks now. They're taking an hour off of your sleep. It's like I'm barely holding on as it is. If you're gonna take an hour of my sleep away, I just might not operate at all. Just don't want to go into work. Just sign in too tired. Forget it. Daylight shavings. Yes, Jennifer. That's exactly what it is. Yes, there are overlords that invented it to torture us. Yeah, I think it's the earliest form of gaslighting is daylight savings time. Is it that's it is. It's just it's serious. It's a gaslighting of the world. Oh, that's right. Bible group says we don't have a time change in Arizona. That's yeah, that's I remember that. Still, is it the whole state? That applies to the whole state or just part of it? Because I don't know. But that'd be I mean, that's why people moved to Arizona. Probably for that alone. Forget the heat. They just they don't want daylight savings anymore or roundabouts. If you don't have roundabouts or daylight savings, I'm moving tomorrow. Just pack up everything and get me down to Arizona quickly. I'm not Paul. We should push the government to get rid of changing time twice a year. Just absolutely nothing to benefit us. Nothing. I mean, what was the principle? So the farmers could be out more. Bible groups of the whole state. Yeah, I've heard that. So I guess even the states north of Arizona don't do it. It's like I mean, that's weird. So like I guess every time it changes, you still have to be aware of like what time it is elsewhere. Like I know if I'm talking to someone on the West Coast, they're gonna be 2 hours earlier. But if you never change time, I guess when it changes, then you just think of Pacific time is now like an hour off or this. I don't know. I don't. I mean that would like cause so much confusion too. I don't understand it. But anyway, I'm going to start reading this book from my friend Solaris Blue Raven called Cosmic Travelers: An Analysis of Time Travel. I want to read the back of this. I'm going to have Solaris on. She's a good friend of mine. She's into some really wild, far out stuff, but she's extremely smart, and you cannot write off some of this stuff that she does because she's on top of it. I mean, she's completely cool, completely smart, and understands a lot of this crazy stuff that I don't. Thank God she does. But she sent me this book, Cosmic Travelers. I love the whole concept of time travel. Yes, Solar is very cool. Gonna have her on. It says, prepare for a cosmic trip through space and time. Cosmic Travelers, an analysis of time travel, is an experimental project in connection to the research of Solaris Blue Raven and her independent creation of the Orion Gateway Project. Isn't that weird how the word gateway keeps coming up and everything? In this time capsule, Solaris will take you on a microcosm into a vast network of how time travel works, technologies associated with space time navigation, artificial intelligence, and connection to off world species, intelligent systems, and how the mind and biotech in connection with the body can um, calibrate to navigate, teleport, phase shift, and traverse the galactic stars and beyond. Good stuff. I'm going to be, doesn't look like a real long read, but look forward to probably going to start this book tomorrow. So I'll let everybody know how it is. Really cool. So anyway, wanted to talk about this case. I'm going to bring up the slide, trying to do more current stuff. So this is this man that unfortunately was found deceased. His name's Nathan Millard, and I know I'm pronouncing that right. So people might mispronounce it Millard, but it's Nathan Millard, and he went missing in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, after going out to this bar right here. It's called Happy's Irish Pub. And I know a lot of people have seen this story in the news. It's horribly, horribly tragic. But this happened not too long ago on February 22nd. It says Millard was staying at the courtyard by Marriott downtown Baton Rouge, was last seen at Happy's Irish Pub on February 22nd, 4 blocks away from the hotel. So he could literally just walk out of his hotel and down a little bit, and he's at Happy's Irish Pub where he met a client. He's works for a construction company. He's like an executive for a construction company, and he had this meeting with his client at this Happy's Irish Pub, and they had a few cocktails, I'm sure, and they were feeling pretty good. And I think Nathan makes it back to his hotel room, and then he's seen leaving again at like 4 in the morning, really late at night. And I think people are surmising that he went out and bought drugs or something like that from a just a random dude that happened to be around. And I guess it looks like he had an overdose because they found his body. I think maybe a week or two later, they found his body. Someone smelled something bad and they reported it, and they found Nathan's body wrapped in a rug with plastic over the rug. So it looks like it was being concealed. But the strange thing about this case is the police started saying once they recovered the body that there was no signs of foul play, no gunshot wound, no stab wound, no abrasions like he was beaten or anything like that. But they said no foul play, and everybody's like, the dude was found and he wrapped in a rug in plastic, and there's no foul play. But what they're trying to put together now is it looks like maybe he went, he's feeling good after going to the bar with the client. The client makes it back to the hotel, and he didn't get reported missing till like 9 o'clock the next morning because his client that he was at the bar with that night knew something was wrong when he didn't show up to their meeting that was pretty important over some construction project. So looks like Nathan wanted to, I guess, keep things going or wanted to buy. I don't know if it's cocaine, marijuana, we don't know, but they caught him on some security footage talking to this individual who they now found the man that they were looking for. That looks like he was the last one to see Nathan alive. And let me see, I got a picture of him. I had a picture of him somewhere, but his name is let me see. Derek Perkins is the name of the guy. And maybe I can share the screen and pull it up. I'll pull him up. Let me do this. This might be it. Okay, so there's new twist in case of missing exec Nathan Millard found dead as cops want to speak with man about his final hours, and they did track that man. Of course, that's a picture of Nathan Millard, and here's the gentleman that was the last one that was seen with him, and which is Derek Perkins, and I guess it's alleged that Derek Perkins sold him drugs, maybe it had fentanyl in it. No one knows, and maybe the family was, for Millard was trying to keep it quiet that he OD'd, and they, I guess, are suspecting now that he got the drugs from Perkins and he had an overdose right there and he died. And then Perkins thought he'd get in trouble, so then Perkins goes about wrapping his body in a rug and then plastic over him and then dumps him literally he was found 3 miles away from the Irish pub where he was last drinking. So we don't know though, but they're really quick to say that there's no foul play involved. And then you got a picture of Mr. Perkins here. It says all persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty, but yet they want to talk to him. So it looks like he may have just sold him some bad drugs. I don't know, but it's really, really strange. This case is kind of weird. Why this guy, Nathan Millard, would even do that? Like, he's already gone out. He's had plenty of drinks with this guy this guy's doing business with and trying to do this construction project with, and he's going to just go to his hotel, leave, and go find a random guy in Baton Rouge. I mean, this is not a safe area. Unfortunately, there's a lot of nice bars and stuff there like this one, and it's all been redone, but there's a lot of bad characters in and around Baton Rouge at 4 a.m, and it's nothing good is going to happen. So I just can't, I just don't know why that guy would make that decision to go looking for something that late at night, knowing there was a pretty important meeting the next day. And how long, if let's say he goes out and gets drugs, how long is he going to enjoy it before he's got to go sit through some meeting where it's going to be obvious he's high or whatever? I mean, that's the strange part to me. Let's just say that he went to get the drugs from Mr. Perkins, and he just finds a random guy. Hey man, you got this, you got that. Yeah, I got this. And he does it and it causes him to have a heart attack, or it's fentanyl in it and the fentanyl kills him. I don't know. I've seen someone suggest it could have been fentanyl. We don't know. They're doing a toxicology, of course, on Millard's body, but the results aren't back. But why would he go out that late at night, 4 a.m. or so, and get these drugs? And how long is he going to enjoy it? Like 3 hours, and you got to go to a meeting at 8 or 9 a.m. and look like you're fairly together to get through this meeting? That's the strange part about it to me. Why would he do that? I don't, he's married. He's got, I think it says he has 5 children. Um, it's just awful. What would possess a guy that's, you know, by all means successful with a family, gonna make a decision that bad to not only go around Baton Rouge, which is a rough area around there at night. It's just it is. If he stayed in and around those bars or wherever by his hotel, he probably would have been fine. But he got off the beaten path a mile or so, going to look for somebody who could supposedly give him drugs. Could have been Nathan. Could have been cocaine. That's why I've seen a lot of people thinking it was cocaine. But I guess the cocaine would keep him up all night. But he's still going to be. He's just not going to be all there by the time of that meeting. Like, I don't know. That's just strange. Maybe he had a history of using cocaine or something that would explain it a little more. But just to go buy it from a random guy out in Baton Rouge, that's just, I can't see how a guy that smart would have that bad a judgment, but maybe he did. Yeah, I agree, Nathan. It does sound like cocaine, but that late, I mean, you want to score it that bad at 4 a.m. And I mean, if you had nothing to do the next day, I mean, yeah, to keep him up for a while. If he had enough of it, maybe he'd still be wide awake for the meeting, but he'd still look all, bloodshot eyes, zero sleep. And he's going to risk all that for just a little bit of coke. And it's not going to be like the most, the greatest, purest stuff you ever see. He's just getting it from some random dude in Baton Rouge. I don't get it. That's true. Functioning addicts do dumb shit. That's true. I've seen there has been cases of that, but I don't know this one. That's why I want to hear everybody's comments on this case, because it makes no sense at all. So here's the place where they found Nathan's body over here. I think it was inside this. I'm not 100% sure. That's, of course, him with his wife. These are both with his wife, and that's him at the top left, and the bar again. But they found his body here, and they said it was about 3 miles away from Happy. So this is not a happy ending, because this is tragic that he would do that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he is addicted, but it looks like a healthy guy. He's not real thin or anything. He just looks healthy. He's keeping it all together. Kids at home, and he's gonna go scoring coke at 4 a.m. in Baton Rouge. That's like asking to die. That's suicidal. Ted Braden wouldn't do something like that. I mean, that's like, wanting to. You're just done. Like you're just ready to check out at that point. I don't know why he would do it, but maybe some more details will come out, when they start talking to this guy. But they said that Perkins was, he has a record. It's, I don't think he's got murder on there, but he's got some, some robberies and some drug charges and stuff like that. So he is a drug dealer. I think he's a known drug dealer in the area. So what may have happened is Millard maybe just OD'd right there in front of him, and the guy panicked, like, oh, I know I'm to get blamed for this, so let's go get rid of the body. And he did a terrible job of it. He wraps it in a rug, and then the plastic wrap, like, that was a bad decision. But I mean, what's he gonna do? Call the cops? He's just probably sure they're gonna blame him for it anyway. It says additional information will be released as it comes available. I think it said that Millard was 42, father of 5. Yes, he had 5 children. It's tragic. Business trip, Baton Rouge. He had I think he texted his wife they went to a basketball game. It was LSU basketball game before they went to the bar. And he texted his wife pictures of the seats they got for this basketball game. But, just looked like he was in pretty good spirits. It doesn't look like he was planning a suicide or anything like that. I think I guess he had a drug issue. It says Millard was found 3 miles away from the pub after a passerby smelled a foul odor. Called the authorities on Monday morning. His wife says he's a love man, a great man, and we need him. We want him home. And this is before they found the body. It's so tragic. It's what his wife said. Her name's Amber. She woke the following morning with no text from him. She said she knew that was way out of character because he would text her every morning. His phone and wallet were found not far from the hotel during the search for him. Now, that's interesting. It seems like that happens a lot of these missing persons cases. That they'll find the wallet and the cell phone, valuable stuff, but it looks like the items are missing before they find the body. It's like you think if he met the guy, he hasn't done the drugs yet. He's just drunk from going out to Happy's with uh his client, that he's still functioning pretty well to go find this guy and negotiate some drug sale. Well, if he'd already lost his wallet, how's he going to pay the guy? I mean, or I think they do actually. This dude Perkins did take his wallet and used his credit card, so maybe Perkins ditched him and they found him. I don't know. You think if Perkins took him, obviously, I think they have Perkins on tape using the credit card, if I'm not mistaken, and he did withdraw money from his ATM, but how you think Perkins would have gotten rid of that stuff? But it says the phone and the wallet were found not far from the hotel, so all the details aren't out. Why is his phone not with him? And if it was, Perkins did all this and he panicked, you think the first thing Perkins would have done is get rid of anything like that it could be traced back to him. But I guess he couldn't resist. If the guy died, he's still going to go use his credit card and get some money out of the deal. But that does not mean that Perkins killed the man. It doesn't. It just he was probably responsible indirectly, especially if the stuff had fentanyl in it. Fire Pixie, especially when I would drink, that's when I wanted to do coke. Bible Grape, I'm pretty sure you didn't used to smoke 3 crack pipes. But maybe you did. Maybe that's when you changed. It goes on Aussie beer. What, Foster's? Foster's is a good beer. Life can be diminishing. Yeah, I never knew anybody that was like really heavy in coke, but I'm sure it's possible. I mean, it's highly addictive. So yeah, I'm sure. It's a good comment, Anthony. Ted Braden wouldn't do it, but McCoy would, just to throw off investigators. McCoy wasn't that smart. McCoy was not smart. And one thing people forget about McCoy, and I'm not putting him down, it's just a true statement about him. His mother and father were literally first cousins. Like poor Richard McCoy's family tree does not fork immediately. You know what I mean? When you're the product of first cousins marrying, you're not the smartest guy. I mean, there has been studies on that. It dumbs you down. I mean, he was not the smartest dude in the world. I mean, even his own BYU professor said that. Says it's as if he wanted to get caught. He made every mistake you could think of when he hit the ground. He made a lot of mistakes in the plane, but he really made a lot when he hit the ground, such as hitching a ride from a guy and then having him drop him off in his front yard. McCoy couldn't even say, "Can you just make it a few blocks from my house and I'll walk the rest?" No, McCoy has to drop him off in his front yard. Genius. Remember, first cousins married. Crazy. Nathan, what is surprising is that he died outside to me. I would assume he would do the drugs back in the hotel. Yes. Good comment. That's why I do this stuff for comments like that. That is exactly. Why would you do it outside? I mean, you got to have it so bad, that fix so bad. You wouldn't just, like you're kind of worried, like, okay, this dude might pull a knife on me or just rob me or whatever. Like, I'm just going to bring cash, like whatever I need, like $100, whatever, and buy the drugs. And then go back you're not that far. Why not take them back to the hotel and get all coked up, stay up till your meeting? Good point. Why would you do it out there? That doesn't make sense to me. Surely this guy can't be that responsible to make it to 43 years old with 5 kids, a good job, and he's just gonna make one horrible decision after another. But good point. Why would he not just get the stuff where he can't get caught? Because you get caught with cocaine. I mean, this ain't a bag of dope, man. It's not a bag of marijuana. It's cocaine. You're gonna get. I mean, that's a felony with just a little bit. You get caught with just a little bit of that stuff, and that's a felony even in Baton Rouge. They're not gonna let you off. And he's gonna risk that. Like, yeah, I agree. Why not take it and go back to the hotel room? Insanity. So he may try. Yeah, that's a good point. So he may have tried a tester and collapsed on the way back to the hotel. I would think Perkins would sell the drugs and then leave the area and not hang around. Yeah, but Perkins must have hung around allegedly, if Perkins is the one that wrapped him in the carpet and then put the plastic around the carpet. Why would you do that? Yes, it's a miracle if you got out of using that stuff, because yeah, that's a hard one to come out of, drug addiction. I know God, one of my best friends used to be a pretty avid drug dealer and did a lot of prison time for dealing cocaine and ecstasy. I don't know what else, but it's definitely cocaine and ecstasy. And he's the nicest guy you would ever meet in your life. You'd just stunned if you knew his background, but you would never know it to meet him now. He's completely reformed and probably the nicest person I've ever known. He used to be a big time drug dealer, but just fortunate enough, lived long enough and uh, turned his life around. So there's always hope of redemption. But yeah, this is just it's just sad, really sad. I hope they figure out. But yeah, why wouldn't you just? I just can't understand that decision making there to leave, go buy the drugs. Maybe he's testing it to see if it's good. Yeah, because cocaine, I guess you would know immediately. All you got to do is rub it on your teeth or something and see if they numb them, and you know it was good or not. But maybe there's fentanyl involved. I don't know. I don't know why all this stuff is laced with fentanyl now. Is that just because it makes it more potent? I mean, you're going to kill somebody if you put that on there. If the fentanyl is too potent, it's going to kill somebody. Makes no sense. Just so tragic. I'm definitely looking into moving to Arizona because I don't want to lose any more sleep. I can't afford to lose any more sleep. Maybe that's why this guy was looking for some cocaine. He knew the time change was coming up. I mean, seriously, it's just bad. I never knew that alcohol and cocaine are a psychotic combo. Could be. Yeah, because cocaine's a stimulant and alcohol's a depressant. So I think, yeah, those two colliding would not be good at all. A stimulant with a depressant, but I'm sure it's done all the time. Anthony, I have no experience, but a coke user might decide to do a snort even if he was intending to use more at the hotel. True. He might have just wanted it so bad he couldn't wait. And give him a little, it's 4 in the morning. He's probably already a little sluggish after all that alcohol. No, there's no toxicology report yet. They all they said was that there was no apparent trauma to the body. There was no marks on his body. There was no bullet holes, no stab wounds. But the toxicology report is not back yet for what's in his system, and I'm pretty sure they know they're gonna find drugs. I think they probably told his family, "Hey, this looks like he OD'd," and they think they gave the family a chance to kind of control the narrative, without letting that out, which is good for the cops. The guy's he's a father. It's tragic. 5 kids lose their father, so I think maybe the police were being decent enough to let him kind of control the narrative without making it totally obvious. But what caught everybody's attention, of course, is they said it looked like no foul play, and then they find the dude wrapped in a carpet and plastic. So then everybody's like, that looks like foul play to me. Really weird, but yeah, that one's just sad. Really sad. I was thinking back on, I don't know if everybody caught the Brian Schaefer video, and talking to a friend of mine about the Brian Schaefer case, and I don't know if I mentioned this on that video about Schaefer, but he was an hour late to his mother's funeral. And I think that's a big clue to this whole thing with Brian Schaefer, because no matter how close he was, and he was very close to his mother. There's been plenty of people that were close to their parents when they died, or had a sibling die, or a child, and God forbid, and they weren't an hour late to their funeral because of grief. I mean, most people, you first hear that, like, yeah, I understand. He just, so traumatic losing his mom that he couldn't bring himself to make it to the service, but he does go, but he's an hour late. I think that shows something going on in the guy's mind, that in his mindset. So what I mean is maybe he did want to just pick up and leave. It's possible, because that's just strange to me that he shows up late enough to his mother's funeral that he pretty much missed it. You know, he just shows up at the last second of because it done probably most of it by the time he got there. So I'm thinking that's some insight into the guy. Unfortunately, it definitely sounds like fentanyl was in whatever he got. So glad back in your day the fentanyl was not a thing. I don't remember fentanyl being around until, like, I know it was around because I had a friend that's pet took it, like a fentanyl patch for like pain for like you put it on a dog or something, and I'm assuming people too, but I'd never even heard of it till 2 years ago, much less 20 or 30 years ago. I mean, back in my day, there was cocaine, but like ecstasy was really popular. Acid, which is they call it LSD, but it's just bathtub acid. But it was X, some cocaine, of course, marijuana, uh, tons of marijuana around. But with my group in high school, there was zero peer pressure. Some people did drink, some people smoked pot, some people did some pretty hard drugs, and no one forced anything on anybody. You could be as bad or good as you wanted to be, and no one said a word about it. Oh, Patty says, I think that he would want to be at the funeral to support his father and his brother. Exactly. I know it was hard on the guy, but to show up late is just weird. It was only to me, it almost makes more sense not to show up at all. If you were that distraught over it, like why show up at all? I think that's it might not mean anything, but it's something in that case that's true and noted that he was an hour, at least an hour late to his mother's funeral. And yeah, I get coming to grips with it and all that, but I understand that, but it's important too to be there. If he's that close to her to honor her, but unless he had some really legit reason, like just the worst timing of his life, his car wouldn't start or something. But I never heard that. Like the supposed stories, he was just so you know grief stricken, he was late. It's just weird. I don't know. That's what we don't know if he had a history of that kind of behavior. That would you would think he would have something in his background, just one thing in his background, or one other incident where maybe he gets through it. Just I was thinking about that with this case, with Nathan Millard is just let's just say that he gets away with this. He buys the coke. If it's just assume it is, he gets back to the hotel room. He does it. He gets through this meeting. No one's really the wiser of it, and maybe this guy goes on and lives to be 85 years old or 90. I mean, just bad luck happened. Maybe, I don't know, but maybe it was fentanyl. I don't know. I mean, what in cocaine would just cause the guy to just to OD? People don't OD on cocaine. I guess you could have like it's a stimulant. It's going to make you faster and all that. Maybe it would cause some kind of a cardiac issue. Maybe like a heart attack or a cardiac arrest or something like that. Maybe, but to OD on it is I don't think that's that normal. Yeah, well, I'm sure that Perkins' fingerprints are all over that, Nathan. I bet Perkins his fingerprints are all over that plastic. Maybe have a heart attack. Yeah, he might have had a heart attack. I mean, maybe the coke, but if he let's just say he's a regular user of cocaine, it'd be odd to be that one time that takes him out. Just that one time of doing the cocaine and just being up was the one thing that put him over. I don't know. I'm thinking fentanyl, but I'm thinking fentanyl for some reason. Oh yeah, I just think Perkins knows more. I mean, I don't think Perkins set out to kill the guy, but unfortunately, I think if Perkins isn't in the picture, this guy's still alive, and it's not excusing his terrible decision making skills. But you had surgery from surgery last year, and your insurance said fentanyl was listed. Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked. I mean, I know it's good and it works, but it's got to be like extremely, extremely controlled, like where you're only getting this really controlled smaller dose of it because it's so powerful that you're just if you get too much of it, it'll just kill you. I guess. I mean, how do you die from fentanyl? I guess if you get that the total overdose, it just shuts your heart down. Yeah, that does. It sounds like a bad batch. It sounds like he just got a bad batch. Yeah, because I mean, maybe the fentanyl just makes it seem stronger. I just, is that the point of them putting it in everything now? It just makes, you can get more out of an allotment of cocaine or whatever by mixing fentanyl in it. Like it's just not pure coke, and you think if you put fentanyl in it, it makes it stronger. You could, or like it's like I don't know, like MSG is to food or something. I don't know. It's just sad. 5 kids. I hope there's some answers, but at least it's one of these cases where they at least found his body, all there so they can give him a proper burial. But yeah, we won't know. It looks like he just made a really, really bad decision. Just getting away from the family, blowing off steam, and drank a little too much and wanted to keep the party going. Heroin has fentanyl. Yeah, I knew a guy uh, who died of a heroin overdose, and he was one of the most talented, probably the most talented person I ever knew. Mike Merrick was an actor who went to the University of Houston and was probably the most talented actor to come through the whole drama program at U of H. Not the most famous, that'd be Jim Parsons from Big Bang Theory, but most talented, no doubt, was Mike Merrick. I mean, he was just a damn good actor and moved out to LA. He was getting a lot of work as an actor. He had $200,000 in the bank from acting gigs, and that's not many people could say that. He was good, and his mom had been an actress and got him a lot of connections in making money. And he just did heroin one night and fell asleep, which you're not supposed to do. And Mike fell asleep and didn't wake up. And the guy that he was with, I think, fell asleep too, but he managed to get out of it. And he woke up, saw Mike dead, called the cops, and then he took off. It was another guy we went to high school with here in Houston. And I don't know what became of that guy, but pretty sure he's the one that went out and scored it for him. But what a tragedy. Most talented guy I ever knew. But died of a drug overdose. The culling of the Gentiles. Your sister died doing coke with fentanyl. Oh, that was laced? I'm assuming it would have been laced. That's horrible. Especially if she didn't know it. I mean, there's just people with, cocaine addiction, but you'd probably even say, no, I don't want it if you knew it had fentanyl in it. I just don't understand why they're putting fentanyl in all this stuff. It's like you said, yeah, they're trying to kill people. Why would you do that? Just sad. I do too. I agree with Bible Group. Yeah, that's what we need. This poor guy. Definitely praying for this dude's family, especially if that was in there. Yeah, addictions. This guy just doesn't. He doesn't look like this drug addict. Just looks like a good old boy from Georgia. But they come in all shapes and sizes. Unfortunately, you never know it. If you don't know them, you don't know what's going on in their life or what addiction they might have. They might be hiding it well, and where the money came from. Yeah, Belushi died from cocaine. I think it was. That's what they call a speedball, isn't it? Cocaine and heroin. And then I think it's called a speedball. I don't know that from using it, but I think that's what Belushi died of. It was a speedball. Cocaine mixed with heroin. Ooh, I can't even. Dang, that would just throw your body in all kind of. That's serious stuff. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, speedballing. Yeah. It's another talented guy goes out with drugs with Belushi. What did Philip Seymour Hoffman die of? I mean, I know that was a drug overdose. Man, how did these guys with all the money and the talent in the world just get into that stuff? I mean, Hoffman, man, that guy was one of the best actors ever. $34 million in the bank. Just successful as he could be, talented as he could be. Terrible drug problem and died of an overdose. Great actor. That's the case of him. I'll definitely keep everybody updated. I just wanted to do something a little more current than like 50-year-old stuff, but definitely gonna keep up. Any updates in this case, I'll come back on and do something. But yeah, that's what it looks like for now. It looks like he OD'd somehow, probably fentanyl laced cocaine or something. And I know they're going to talk to Perkins and get to the bottom of what happened. Yeah, Tom Petty did as well. Tom Petty was taking a lot of pain medication. Tom Petty was taking, I think, prescribed fentanyl because he had really bad back pain and hip pain. I think it might have been back or hip or both. But Petty took a lot of opiates and I think fentanyl, strong stuff for like everyday pain. He was in pain every day from a medical condition. And yeah, unfortunately, he mixed it with street drugs and it was too much to take. There was too much of the pain medicine in him on top of the cocaine, and it just shut him down. And remember, he lingered on for a while. Everybody thought he was dead, and it took a while, but eventually he succumbed to it, and another great talent gone. Yep, same with Prince. That's what happened to Prince. So many of them, so many of these talented people. But yeah, with Tom Petty, I understood why he took the opiates and stuff, because he was in a lot of pain. I don't know if it was from a previous injury or he'd fallen or it was degenerative condition or something, but Tom Petty was in a lot of daily pain from his condition. So it's kind of like Elvis, where a famous musician like that, you could much more easily get drugs, especially pharmaceutical drugs. So it enabled him. But yeah, he was in so much pain, he almost had to take that stuff. Well, that's all I have for now. Thanks for everybody for coming by, and shout out to the Comdrune. I'll be doing another live show probably next week, and another recorded video is going to be coming out next week as well. So everybody keep an eye out. Have a good time savings. We'll get one more in by Patty. When someone is in constant surfeit pain, they will do anything to get rid of that pain. True. And I know Tom Petty was in that level of pain every day. They whatever it took. Drugs, anything to get your mind off of it. You're welcome. So happy time change, everybody. Remember, set your clock forward, not back. Set spring forward, fall down.